Hey everyone, sorry about the weird lighting. The sun just kind of went away. It was much brighter in here a minute ago. But anyway, I have a couple videos for you guys today. The first two of which are a fairy tale TBR, basically. I have been in a huge fairy tale mood recently, and so the other day I decided to take all of the fairy tale books off my shelves that I haven't read, all the ones that I associate with fairy tales, and I've separated them into two piles. One pile is books that I know are based on specific fairy tales, and then another is books that are either short story collections or anthologies, so they're based on a bunch of fairy tales, and some of them are probably original, and then also some where they have a lot of different fairy tale tropes and stuff, but they sort of create their own fairy tale instead of being based on a specific fairy tale. And actually, one of these I think I'm going to move to this other pile. So the first video is going to be me talking about all the ones that are based on specific fairy tales, and then I'll move on to the others in a second video. And basically what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to, I guess you could say these are just all the fairy tale books that I want to read over the course of this year. I might read several every month, so it could be that I'm finished with this project by like the middle of the year or something. But I was originally going to do a theme month or 2 months where this was all I read, but I really didn't want to do that because I have a lot of buddy reads with people lined up, and so I would have to push those back. And then also there are so many books by specific authors that I want to read. Like, you know, I made it one of my goals earlier in the year to read specific authors, read one of their works a month, so I really didn't want to cast that aside. So hopefully this way it will work out the best. And also, since this is a mood thing, it could be that after like 2 or 3 months of this, I'm like, okay, I'm kind of sick of fairy tale retellings. I'm going to put these all back on my shelves and just read them at my own leisure. Something. So anyway, we'll see. Okay, so I'll start with the ones that are based on specific fairy tales, and I'll start with the two where I'm not sure if they should be included in this or not. They are Hidden Sea by Gregory Maguire, which is based on the Nutcracker. The original story is by E.T.A. Hoffman, and then, of course, there's the Tchaikovsky ballet. But I'm not sure if the original story by E.T.A. Hoffman is considered a fairy tale. And so that's why I'm hesitant to include this in this list. But if somebody knows if this is, if the original story is considered to be a fairy tale, please let me know. I would consider it a fairy tale, but I'm not totally sure. So there's this one, and also this one is going to be read this month regardless, because this was one of my Goodreads wins, and I was supposed to read and review it in December, and time got away from me, so yeah, now this month. Next is A Kingdom Far and Clear by Mark Helprin, illustrated by Chris Van Allsburg. It is so pretty. And this is, of course, actually based on another Tchaikovsky ballet, Swan Lake. And the thing about Swan Lake is the ballet is as far back as I know the story. I have no idea what the source material is for Swan Lake. So I don't know who wrote the original source material or if it's considered a fairy tale. I should have researched this before I started this video, but anyway, if anybody knows if I am legitimate in including this in this video, and if it is in fact based on a fairy tale, then please let me know. And another thing that I should say is things based on myths, I'm actually trying not to include in this, because I have enough things where I know that they're based on myths that I'm going to collect them and do maybe a second project video later on in the year or maybe next year. So some of these might be based on myth instead of fairy tale, but if they are, I'm not aware of it. So anyway, next up, we have a couple of Cinderella retellings. First is Cinder by Marissa Meyer. I'm finally getting to this. I've been meaning to pick this up for such a long while, and I've really been debating buying it, but this is one where I really think I will either love it or not get the hype. I'm thinking more along the lines of loving it, definitely, but because of that, I did want to get it from the library instead of buying it, and it came into the library the other day, so I was like, well, this seems like fate, so I snagged it. So yeah, this will be one that I will read sooner rather than later, and I'm really hoping that I love it because I will then have this represent the whole series. And the two that I'm excited most about, I think, in the series are Scarlet and Cress, because Scarlet is based on Little Red Riding Hood, and Cress is based on Rapunzel. And Rapunzel, I think, is very much becoming one of my favorite princesses. Like, I mean, Disney-wise, Belle will always be my favorite, and, you know, Beauty. But Rapunzel, I just really, really love Tangled, like, a lot. Like, it is my fourth favorite Disney movie, and no offense to people who love Frozen, I quite like Frozen, but I like Tangled 100 times better, and I think it is the better story, personally, for me. And again, that's just me, so no offense, but that's how much I love it, and that film just really made me love Rapunzel as a princess. Like, I think she is definitely my second favorite now because of that. So anyway, hoping to love this. And then we have Confessions of an Ugly Stepsister by Gregory Maguire. This is another Gregory Maguire, and this is definitely based on a fairy tale. Cinderella, to be exact. And I will read you guys the back of this. It says, "In the lives of children, pumpkins can turn into coaches, mice and rats into human beings. When we grow up, we learn that it's far more common for human beings to turn into rats. We all have heard the story of Cinderella, the beautiful child cast out to slave among the ashes. But what of her stepsisters, the homely pair exiled into ignominy by the fame of their lovely sibling? What fate befell those untouched by beauty? And what curses accompanied Cinderella's exquisite looks? Set against the rich backdrop of 17th century Holland, Confessions of an Ugly Stepsister is a novel of beauty and betrayal, illusion and understanding, reminding us that deception can be unearthed and love unveiled in the most unexpected of places." So I saw this film. This was made into a made-for-TV film back in 2002, and I think I saw it pretty soon after that. Like, I may have seen it then, or when I was like 13, which is the next year, something like that. But I completely love this film. I watch it at least every couple of years. I try to track it down like once a year, because I usually can only watch it via like YouTube or something because it was a made-for-TV film. But it had Matthew Good in it, and that was like one of the first things I ever saw him in, and I completely love the story, but he also was a factor in why I loved it so much. But anyway, I love the story a lot, and that's why I finally picked up the book. My hesitation in picking up the book before was I really, really hated the original cover, and they came out with this cover in 2011, I think. And so I think in like 2012 or 2013, I saw this in the bookshop, and I was like, I need this. So I snagged it. And I'm really hoping that I love the book as much as the TV film. I do love Gregory Maguire's writing, at least from what I remember of it in Wicked. So I think I will really love this. And what I love is that it's like he thinks, okay, what if Cinderella's beauty made her kind of vain? And what if The stepsisters are actually both very nice girls, but they are kind of trapped under the foot of their mother, who is very social climbing and like I must get what I want and very selfish, so they're kind of stuck in their situation because of their mother. It's a really, really great film, so I'm really hoping to love the book, and I hope the book is like the film, because if it's different, I might be sad. But anyway, there's that, and then, oh gosh, running out of time. Okay, so next is Princess of the Midnight Ball by Jessica Day George, which this is not a library, it's like an ex-library book. I got it from thrift books. So anyway, but yeah, this is a retelling of the 12 Dancing Princesses, and it's from one of the princesses' perspectives. And then if I love this, I think she made it into a series, so I would love to continue on with the series if I love this one. I think the second one is called Princess of Glass, and it is from one of the other sisters / princesses' points of view, and it's a Cinderella retelling set after this one. And then I think maybe she's done a couple more like that as well. So anyway, hope to love this one. And then, I'm so sorry about the planes. I'll just wait, I think. Hang on. And then next we have Tender Morsels by Margot Lanigan. This is a very dark, apparently, I think it's supposed to be super dark, retelling of Snow White and Rose Red. And this will be very interesting because I don't think I've ever read the source material for this one. And I've only ever seen stories just about Snow White. I've never seen one about Snow White and Rose Red together. And also this book, I feel like, is hit or miss with a lot of people. A lot of people think it is a terrible story, and others think it's amazing. So I'm really excited. I think the biggest hoopla over this book has been that apparently here in the States, I'm sorry, and I can't start over because this is like the 20th time I'm trying to do this video. Okay, anyway. I think the big hoopla over this is that it is, it's considered a young adult book here in the United States, and it's considered adult everywhere else, and apparently it should really be adult, because apparently, like, a lot of the people who read it are like, you know, 12-year-old girls should not be reading this. So that's interesting. And I'm very excited to get to it and see what I think. And then, oh gosh, okay. I think this is the last one. This is Cloaked by Alex Flynn, which is, I want to say, her take on Little Red Riding Hood. I love Beastly by Alex Flynn, and I also love A Kiss in Time by Alex Flynn. I would love to actually reread both of those as part of this project as well. And I would also love to reread some other Beauty and the Beast retellings, like Subtle Beauty, and also Roses by G.R. Mannering. I have not actually read that yet, and that's on my Kindle, and that's based on Beauty and the Beast, so glad I snuck that in there real quick. And also I would love to read a couple of her other retellings. Like, I know she has one called Towering, which is based on Rapunzel. I think it's based on Rapunzel instead of Sleeping Beauty. Yeah, because Sleeping Beauty is Kiss in Time. I just said that. Anyway, yeah, so she has a couple others, so I would love to read those as well. And anyway, so yeah. Okay, this is yeah, anyway, it's gone on long enough, and I will stop here and move on to my other pile here for the next video, and hopefully I will have enough space left over for a current reads. So thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.